want you to hear what she has to say. Because I mean, there's so many parts to this. I want to show you a lot of parts to this of taking the black vote away, redistricting. And a woman pointed out it's because 92% of the black vote went for the Democratic Party, understanding that, right? Listen to what she has to say, because she is on par with what I feel. Let me just say, they've already gone to great lengths to start to fuck with women's rights in general. But listen to what she has to say, because everything she has to say is creditable.
And you think the Supreme Court gutting the Voting Rights Act doesn't affect you? Think again. Because that instinct that this is someone else's problem, that it won't affect me, just them, is how we ended up here. Exactly. What actually happened was the Supreme Court didn't just weaken the Voting Rights Act for voters of color. They dismantled the enforcement mechanism that makes your vote, your white vote, means something too. Because the truth about voter suppression is that nobody says this part out loud. It's that it's never about race. It's always been about power. The big guy versus the little guy. Make no mistake, this decision means fewer voting places. Guess what? That's your rural white county too. Stricter ID laws, that's your elderly mother who doesn't drive and doesn't have a passport. Purged voter rolls, that's your kid who moved home from college. Early voting cuts, that's you working 2 jobs trying to get to the polls on a Tuesday before they close. The architecture of suppression doesn't check your skin color at the door. It checks your income, your zip code, whether you have the flexibility in your schedule, whether you can afford to wait in a 4-hour line. They gut the Voting Rights Act, and what they really gut is the guardrail, the legal infrastructure that allows anyone to challenge a law designed to make voting harder. Without it, state legislatures move faster. They can redistrict with less scrutiny, with the primary goal being to steal our elections and take away our democracy. They can close polling locations in working class neighborhoods, all working class neighborhoods. This is not abstract. This is your school board, your water quality, your hospital staying open, your sheriff, your state legislature drawing the maps that decide whether your vote is competitive ever again. The Voting Rights Act was not now or ever was a black gift. It was an American promise, written in blood, in Selma on a bridge, by people who understood that democracy is not self-executing. Someone has to guard it. And if you've been sitting on the sidelines thinking this fight wasn't yours because you're white, you are wrong. They're coming for you too. Stay steady, eyes open, guard the republic.
Okay, hold on. I want you to hear this. Because a lot of white Americans are very, they're awake to what the white supremacists and this administration and the people that are MAGA undercover are doing. They're very, very awake to what is happening. But I want you to hear this, because this is satire, but it's oh so clear what the fuck is happening, okay?
When they want to do something to hurt black people, the wheels of government turn fast, son.
Oh, yeah.
This just happened. And they're like, oh, I can fit this in. Let's go.
Let's do it right now.
I'll reschedule I'll move some things around.
Yeah. Rural hospital closures. Ohio State, Tennessee. We got you. Every other state beat. We'll deal with that later. But right now we got to make sure black people can't vote.
No. Progress takes time.
Oh, yeah.
Justice, it takes a little.
Sure.
It takes decades.
You know how hard it is to get anything done through Congress? It takes years and years for a bill to go from here to there. I mean, I've watched all the cartoons. I know how hard it is. Yeah.
Small steps forward. But, man, when they want to roll stuff back, they're taking, like, just jumping frog leaps.
Yep.
Frog leaps.
Let that sink in. Let that fucking sink in. You know, the waste, fraud, and abuse, which allowed Elon Musk to go in with Doge and get everybody's information and fuck with everybody and steal and allow Trump to know exactly how much he can take from the piggy bank of America. Yeah, leaps and bounds, boy, leaps and bounds. They're gung ho for this shit. They're gung ho for this shit. Okay, let's go back. I want you to hear this because this is. I mean, like I said, I personally don't have. I'm not affected by abortions because I'm at the age where abortions don't affect me. However, I know young women. I love young women in America who need to have safe abortions. And here you have a legislator.
This Republican wants to ban abortion even though she got one herself. The Dismemberment Abortion Ban Act of 2026 would ban abortion after 12 weeks by criminalizing dilation and evacuation, or D&E procedures, the most common way to end pregnancies in the second trimester, according to Abortion Every Day. For what it's worth, this also includes miscarriages. Yes, this would include states where abortion is legal, even in the bluest of places like New York. This would be essentially the national abortion ban they've always wanted. It was introduced by Representative Kat Kamek, who got an abortion for an ectopic pregnancy in Florida only because she's a Republican representative, and even tried to put in a personal phone call to Governor Ron DeSantis when she needed a medically necessary abortion, despite them being illegal in the state. She insists what she went through wasn't an abortion, even though yes, it absolutely was. Rolling the bill, the Dismemberment Act also purposely makes the procedure sound brutal.
Let that sink in that a representative calls DeSantis because in the state she lives in, she has a medical emergency and has to have the child aborted, right? And somehow she's above the law. And I saw her on a I think it was TPUSA, and she was talking about anti-abortion and women's right to vote and all this other dumb shit, taking that away. And this bitch is a representative in her state. Let that fucking sink in. That she herself was able to save her own life by making a phone call. And imagine you being a representative and having to call your senator of your state so that you can have actual health care to keep yourself alive. Let that fucking sink in. A dude, a man, you have to call DeSantis, a man, to save your fucking life. This is the most hypocritical fucking administration and the people that follow this administration and push this administration that I have ever fucking seen in my life. This bitch literally got a fucking abortion from her pregnancy because it was not viable and could have died. But all the other women who don't have the phone number of their representative to call them so that they can get health care are gonna fucking die. Fucking appalling.
And abortion seekers violent and cruel. Yes, surgeries in general are gnarly. You ever seen what they do for a hip replacement, a broken bone? You know what else is disgusting? Forcing a person to raise a child they don't want. The details of a medical procedure might be hard to stomach, but we need to leave it to professionals, doctors, not politicians with a motive.
Ugh. Yeah, this is what we're headed for. We keep rolling back and trying to take people's votes away. We have used a whole fucking neo-Nazi regime called ICE, and that's what it is because most of the people that were hired were neo-Nazis and KKK members to deport Hispanic people who never had a freaking nothing on their record by way of being a criminal. And you have all these people doing the most criminalistic stuff to roll back people's rights and votes and things like that. And The hypocrisy. It's just the fucking hypocrisy of it all. It's sickening.